We are live. What is going on, everybody? Glad to have you here. It's time to start the show. And boy, is it going to be a show tonight. Hold on one second. Let's switch over. What is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us. This is Boxing Fanatico, episode 65, and we got an important thing to talk about. We got a very important thing, because as you see the title and the thumbnail and everything, this is huge. Now, keep in mind, the person who stated this is a boxing journalist by the name of, let me double check the name, a Spanish boxing journalist, Chris Venegas, and they have a TV channel or a channel called TV Boxeo LA. So it means TV Boxeo Los Angeles. And they were given the scoop that Teofimo Lopez and Gervonta Tank Davis are in talks. Now, a fight hasn't been officially signed. It hasn't been officially signed, but this is the person that the Tank is targeting. This is the person that they were talking about. Oh, wait until the deal is done. We're gonna shock the world, and with Leonard Ellerbe saying things like, "Oh, we about to start fighting those guys that you guys were saying we should be fighting." This is the deal that they're making. This is the person they're talking to. And it says that they're in talks for the WBO junior welterweight title. So there's two big ramifications for this. Two. This is huge. It looks like Tank will start now to move into winning world titles and not just the regular titles. If he's going to try to go, so this is not, for anybody worried, I saw somebody say, a king of 47. I saw you say that Cap, this fight ain't happening, no way till is going to agree to starve himself. He doesn't have to, because it looks like they're fighting for Teo's WBO junior welterweight title. So they're going to be fighting at 140 title, and it's going to be on Showtime pay-per-view January 20th. January 20th. Now, this is a reliable source. He's a boxing journalist with like almost 100,000 followers, and they got their own show and all this stuff, but they mainly dabble in the Spanish community. But they do get this information, especially, Teofimo Lopez, he's Spanish, and there's probably some type of connection there. Some type of phone call was made, and they got this information. So this is huge. And we talked about this possibility already on this show. We talked about this possibility because everyone else was getting eliminated. Shakur was getting eliminated. Devin Haney was getting eliminated. None of them, through the process of elimination, we kind of figured that it would be Teofimo. But it's great. It's amazing to hear this coming from an inside source, right? It's amazing to hear that this is what's going to be in the works. Now, I want an official reveal, obviously, but this is great because everything's been pointing to it, and this is adding that cherry on top to pointing towards the Teofimo Lopez versus Tank Davis fight, and that fight will be massive. Now, one thing I wanted to do is I made sure to put a list of all of the fights that I predicted, because we're on a 9-fight prediction streak. And there was people writing in the comments like, BS, you're not on a 9-fight prediction streak. If you guys have been regulars here, oh, by the way, my fault. I didn't even start the show off correctly. I got Hashim47 here. Man, I'm too hyped going into the story. Hashim47, the legend, starting us off with the Let's Go champ. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it so much. And of course, we got to start the show off with Michael Buffer right quick. Let's start it off real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Too hyped to talk about this fight. Too hyped to talk about this fight. Let me see what you guys are saying too. I'm going too quick into ranting and everything. Replica Moth. What's going on, brother? Las Vegas Brawls. What's up, brother? AP whatever with the W. ASAP TV with the W. King of 47 don't think the fight is happening. I think the fight is happening. We're not gonna have his trainer Calvin Ford saying it's going to be big. This is big. Everything's big. Leonard Ellerbe on top of that saying, yeah, we about to fight those guys, the big fights. And they're fighting for the junior welterweight title, which does that mean that Tank is moving on from 135 to 140? If he's winning a title at 140, it could mean he's moving on. And if Devin Haney is trying to become undisputed at 140 and Tank wins the 140 belt, that lines up a super fight for Tank versus Devin Haney. Everything looks perfect if they continue to go this route. But yeah, this is actually amazing news coming from Book Sale, TV Book Sale, LA. Salute, King of 47, what's going on? I got Tank beating Tio. Okay, Adrian Doan, salute Fanatical. That'll be a good fight. Tank all day in this fight. Okay. He will still limit Tio's ability to rehydrate after making 140. Well, we'll have to see. I mean, he is the A side. There is a possibility that he could put a rehydration clause in there, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't do it because he got a lot of flack for doing it with Ryan Garcia. Maybe this time he just wants to go in there and let the skills pay the bills. What's good, Fanatico? Rashid, what's going on, brother? Tank versus Tio is definitely a fight I definitely want to see. Tank versus Tio is a fight I definitely want to see. I butchered that. Sorry. The all access is going to be crazy. It's going to be amazing. It's amazing. They must don't know the Michael Jordan of boxing prediction would be mad money. LOL. Of course, man. You already know. You already know. So here's the thing. Because people was trying to act like, hey, ain't no way I predicted 9 fights in a row. First of all, it all exists. This is all archived. You can see the timestamps in comparison to the fight. There's some that I did videos, full-blown, just videos on it, and others that I did it on the live with you guys. I put my prediction streak on my phone. I went back, made sure, got all the fights, put them on my phone in no particular order. And the fights that are next, I have them here too. So we're going to do some predictions for that too. But yes, ain't nobody getting more accurate predictions than Boxing Fanatico. It just doesn't happen. And I've always done this. You can even, if you ever talk to any of my friends from the past, my prediction was always insane. I had a high prediction in the 90s, like percentile, even when I was young, predicting fights. But here we go. We're going to keep it going, and we're going to put the 9 fights that I have predicted correctly so far in the 9-fight prediction streak that we're on. And I think the next fight is funny. The next fight is automatically going to make it a 10. I'm going to hit double digits on predictions. Here we go. No particular order. I predicted Crawford versus Spence correctly, that Crawford would beat Spence. Sonny Edwards versus Campos correctly, that Sonny Edwards was going to beat Campos. Alicia Baumgartner versus Leonard Dautu. I predicted that correct. That is 3. Frank Martin versus Artem. I predicted that correct. Jerome Boots Ennis versus Vila. I predicted that correct. Inoue versus Fulton. I predicted that correct. Regis Prograis versus Zarilla. Predicted that correct. Usyk versus Dubois. Predicted that correct. And Canelo versus Charlo. Predicted that correctly. So that is 9 fights. Continuous on a continuous scale, so we've not been broken in between. We predicted all these 9 fights correctly. Now here are the next fights, and this is the funny part. The next fight that will be coming up, and we're only talking about big fights, right? Because I'm not even wasting my time and looking at and analyzing all the super small fights. He said, I got the Frank Martin, he lost. Listen, that don't count, man. If I don't, look, if I wasn't given the Lomachenko one from a close fight, when I predicted Lomachenko was going to beat Devin Haney, then I get to take the Frank Martin one. I get to take the Frank Martin one, Marvin Tom. But here's the thing. The next fight, guess what the next fight is? The next big fight. And I don't care. It counts. I don't care. It counts. The next big fight is Fury versus Ngannou. Fury versus Ngannou is the next big fight. Fury versus Ngannou. Y'all want to know what my prediction is? But y'all want to know what my prediction is for Fury versus Ngannou? Y'all want to know? If y'all want to put money and make money, because with Boxing Fanatico, man, we are on a high. We got high level predictions here. If y'all want to know who is more than likely gonna win, it is Fury. Fury will beat Ngannou. Believe it or not, guys. Yes, Fury's going to win this fight, and it's probably going to take me into a 10-fight prediction streak. Hold on. We got Love Seat Shorty in the house. Thanks for your consistency and leading by example. I've got to put a heart right here. Thank you so much, brother. You know we love you here. You know we love you here. And yes, I saw your new video, and it was so touching. I know the comments was turned off, so I don't know how private you want to be with everything, but it just drove me to want to support you even more. So yo, we love you here. Thank you so much. We got to collab, me and you, even more directly and everything, because I definitely want to be part of that support for you in your story. And because you gave a $5 super chat, by the way, we got to do the $5 super chat. We got to play the $5 super chat. What is it? Knockout.
I've done it from time to time.
Let's go. Love C Shorty, and I timed it with the super chat popping up on a thing, man. This is amazing. Thank you so much, brother, for always being here. You already know, man. It's like family. Me and you is like family. All right, Rashid. Nah, that don't count. That's an exhibition, right? Oh, wait, is it an exhibition? Nah, that counts. It's still a big fight. I mean, it's an exhibition, but it's a big fight. I can't predict on exhibitions. That's not fair. Okay, guess what? All right, cool. That's an exhibition. All right, let's say that's let's say y'all don't want to give me that one. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna have an asterisk on it. Let's say you don't want to give me that one. The next fight after that is Shakur versus De Los Santos. All right, Shakur versus De Los Santos. Y'all want to know what my prediction is gonna be for that fight? Bro, I got. Hold on to your seats. Shakur Stevenson beating De Los Santos. So if I don't get to 10 with the Fury versus Ngannou, I'm probably gonna get to 10 with Shakur versus De Los Santos. But I want that to be part of my streak. You never know, man. Boxing, anything can happen. Ngannou could still knock him out. It's boxing, right? Anything can happen. Everybody got a puncher's chance. I don't know, how much of a puncher's chance Ngannou has in boxing, but it is possible. So, anyways, either Fury versus Ngannou will continue my streak to 10, or Shakur versus De Los Santos. After Shakur versus De Los Santos, then we have Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. I have Benavidez beating Demetrius Andrade. After that is Regis Prograis versus Haney. I have Haney beating Regis Prograis. After that, this one's the tough one. Sonny Edwards versus Bam Bam Rodriguez. This one's tough. I got Sonny Edwards beating Bam Bam Rodriguez, but it's really tough. This is really tough because this is a real 50-50 fight. But I got Sonny Edwards beating Rodriguez, and we've been correct in 50-50 fights or fights that were proclaimed to be 50-50 before it happened, like the Crawford versus Spence fight and Inoue versus Fulton. We've been correct on those. So the trend can still continue. We pick correctly here in Boxing Fanatico. So Sonny Edwards versus Rodriguez, we're going to pick Sonny Edwards. And then we have Artur Beterbiev. This is in January versus Kalen Smith. I'm picking Artur Beterbiev to win that fight. All right, so this is gonna be pretty crazy, man. This is gonna be pretty crazy. Hold on, my man said, Fanatico, what's the likelihood the sun comes out tomorrow? I'm gonna say that is more than likely the sun will come out tomorrow. And you can take that to the bank because we said it here on Boxing Fanatico. We also predicted the pay-per-view buys for Tank versus Ryan Garcia here on Boxing Fanatico, and the pay-per-view buys for Crawford versus Spence. And it looks like Canelo's pay-per-views are going to do less than Caleb Plant's pay-per-views because the numbers are already being projected and predicted out there. But we stated that it wasn't going to do, that it was going to do somewhat close to the numbers of Crawford versus Spence. And we stated that based off of all of the press, the views that they got on their All Access episodes, the views that they got on their weigh-ins, all these different things. Those are the the indicators to me, as well as the buzz, right? The buzz that you get from your friends and family that don't really watch boxing. That also is a big indicator of how interested the casual market is. So, yeah, I mean, it is looking like it's going to do around 600,000 pay-per-view buys-ish, right? A little bit less than Crawford versus Spence, which is going to make it even bigger for Canelo and Crawford if they ever were to collide. That'll make it bigger because now Canelo could see that he has a dance partner in Crawford, because Crawford and Spence would have made more money than Canelo versus Jermell Charlo. And there has to be the threat that Canelo could lose. I don't think Jermell Charlo provided enough threat that he could lose. Plus, he wasn't a household name like Crawford is. Crawford has become a household name after that fight. But let me know what y'all think about Tank. Hold on. Let me read this real quick. My man said Fury by third degree homicide. No, but actually if Francis gasses, that will be a major, which he mostly likely will. If he throws big shots, Tyson knocks him out easily. Yeah, it's a very possibility. It's a big possibility that Tyson Fury is going to knock him out. You're definitely right about Fury versus Ngannou, but I can't help but hope Ngannou pulls off the craziest upset. That will be the biggest upset in boxing history if an 0-0 Ngannou defeats what people are considering one of the better heavyweights of the modern era. That would be crazy. That Usyk don't count. He lost. LOL. Nah, Usyk won, bro. Usyk won, bro. He won. You can't. It's not 10 seconds. It's a 10 count. So he would have gotten up and just dealt with the pain if he was given a 10 count. But since he was given the opportunity to relax, he took the opportunity to relax. Now, do I think it was a low blow? Personally, I do not think it was a low blow, but the referee did. And Usyk took advantage of it. That happens in boxing all the time. People take advantage of their situations that they're given, and they roll with it. It happens all the time. At the end of the day, Dubois was being outboxed by Usyk anyways, and Usyk just put the beats on Dubois. So it is what it is. Either way, he won. He won, and he was the better fighter, and he won in the actual fight itself. All right, hold on. Fury will beat Usyk. Nah, I got Usyk actually beating Fury. I got Usyk actually beating Fury for December. Actually, I didn't even mention that one here. That one's in December. That one's before the Better BF fight. Yeah, so I would have Usyk beating Tyson Fury when that fight happens. And remember, when it's predicted in Boxing Fanatico, it's a big chance that it more than likely will come to fruition. That Usyk don't count. He lost. Oh, man, y'all crazy. Jay Shep, Love Seep dropped the new vid. I'm going to check it. Yeah, brother. He dropped a new video. Not like today, I believe. He dropped it today. Fire. At Love C Shorty, hey man, I just watched the video fully. I may not be in your position, but I know that sucks. BKSB has so much potential, man. It really does have potential. All love. Yes, 100%. 100%. I agree with that. I agree with you, Fire. I got Shakur by decision on that one. I don't know now that I think about it. I'm leaning towards the TKO. It's probably going to be a TKO because he be beating people up so bad that it's crazy. De Los Santos still good. Yeah, he's good. He's a really slick Mexican, Dominican. He reminds me a little bit of Juan Guzman, that style that Juan Guzman has. So he has that kind of style. He hits hard too. He can knock people out. He's a hard hitter. But I still think that Shakur is just too good when it comes to picking his shots and controlling distance. And he's not going to be able to deal with that all night. And Shakur's going to just, he's probably going to completely outclass him and outland him in that fight. I'm just playing, man. Nah, I know. Me too. Thanks, man. The show must go on. Yes, sir. What did you predict for Bud Spence? I'm highly disappointed in 600K buys. I predicted that it would do between 600,000 to 700,000 pay-per-view buys. You could actually, it's not even hard to predict pay-per-view buys. This is all you got to do. Everything gets watered down for the pay-per-view itself because there's a barrier to entry. You have to pay for it. And then the price is part of that barrier, right? Like, how much is it, right? Because I think Logan Paul's fight with Dylan Dennis and the KSI fight with what's his name? What's the guy? Tommy Fury. That fight is being projected to possibly do 1.2 to 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. And the reason that is probably going to do that is because of a combination of social media push, the viewership that things get, and so that you could get an understanding of that. But also the pricing, right? The pricing is probably it's not gonna be $80 or whatever it is here, or for big fights, right? It's gonna be something much less than that. So they're predicting 1.2 to 1.45 million pay-per-view buys, which is crazy. It's crazy, but it's possible because of the viewership. But here's the easiest way to predict how good a pay-per-view is going to do. You just have to look at the content that's being fed around the event. So All Access is a really good tell. It's a very good tell. It's almost one for one connected to All Access, adjusted for the fact that people have to purchase it, right? So for example, Tank versus Ryan, All Access did like almost 5 million views. 5 million people are not going to buy they're not going to buy the pay-per-view, but also it's not 5 million people, it's 5 million views. We don't know how many people watched it and rewatched it or whatever. So with that, you could probably chop off a few million, right? And then it'll get you to like 1 million, over 1 million, right? 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, you could get there. Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence did about 1.4 million with their All Access episodes, right? On average. So you look at that. The press conference, how many views did the press conference get? You look at that. If it's over 1 million, that's a good indicator. If it's like in the millions, then you're going to do something like around 600 to 700,000 pay-per-views. And that's what happened with Canelo versus Charlo. It was in the millions, but it was in the millions slightly below Spence versus Crawford. So it's not hard to predict pay-per-view buys. It's not actually hard at all. You can make projections just looking at the content that they're putting out around the event itself. I told you all Bud Spence would do worse than Tank Ryan. Bud Spence, of course, man, but it's because of the popularity, right? Ryan is bringing in the social media. You also see that Ryan's followers on social media, you could tell from his followers, as well as you could tell with the followers of Bud Crawford, what he had. Bud's followers doubled after his fight, by the way. Like literally doubled. Like if he had a certain number, he had that number again on top of that. So Bud did amazing after the fight. Bud is at his height, at his peak of fame after the fight, and he needs to cash that in. The best way for him to cash that in is to fight Canelo Alvarez. Still looking through this real quick, but we're going to keep talking about this Tank fight. I have a feeling Teo will beat Tank if they fight. Ooh, Fabrizio saying he has a feeling that Teo would beat Tank if they fight. Oh, I don't know. This is crazy. Leaving it too long isn't always good. Leaving it too long. Wait, is it like leaving it to Teo wins? He's pound for pound. I don't have Teo on my pound for pound list. He got to do more than just beat Josh Taylor, Marv. He got to beat more than that. Like, come on now. Like he lost to Kambosos. We can't forget, right? So he has to do more. But if he beats Tank, that could start creating an argument for him to start putting himself in that pound for pound list, but we'll have to see. Do I have Teo in my pound for pound list? I might have Teo in my pound for pound list now that I'm thinking about it. I don't remember. I may or may not have him in there. Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. I have to check. Usyk, no chance against Fury. How does Usyk have no chance against Fury? Usyk has a big chance against Fury. I'm pretty sure you did have Teo in your pound for pound. Oh, so I probably did. I probably did have him in my pound for pound. My fault. You got him there. Okay, I do. All right, so he is there, right? Probably because he beat Lomachenko. That's a big deal and everything. Okay, I stand corrected by my past self. He's in there. He's in there. I think for me, he is still in there, but barely. I mean, after he won against Josh Taylor, that does help his case. I don't remember what number I put him on though. I'm sure he's not like. Is he top 5? Did I put him top 5? I got to go back on my list. My list is going to get rearranged anyways because a lot of things are changing. For example, Jermel's performance changes my list as well because I have Jermel there as well. Man, by the way, you can't ask me no questions about Undisputed. So Marv, I see that you're asking me an Undisputed question. I can't talk about Undisputed here on Boxing Fanatico. We only talk about Undisputed on the Undisputed's platforms. So that's our socials, our YouTube, our Twitters, and all that stuff. That's where we talk about it. So we can't answer no questions, man. This show is fantastic, dude. Keep it up. Thank you, Marv. I appreciate that 100%. That's my man said. That's not a question. That's a bribe. Yeah, but still, even not even money is strong enough for me to tell. So that should tell you. Don't even ask any questions. Period. Because not even money is strong enough for me to dive into that conversation. Anyways, so this is awesome that we are getting first of all, boxing is just on a roll, right? It's on a roll. There's still talks that Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder is being put together in the background. There's still talks of that, which is awesome. And they're saying that they believe that this will get done. I can't see why somebody like Anthony Joshua would say no, because this, he's kind of like on the back end. He also fought a common opponent in Robert Helenius, which is a big deal. So him fighting that guy and Deontay Wilder also fighting him is perfectly lined up for them to have a fight together. And Joshua lost to Usyk, Wilder lost to Fury. Usyk and Fury are going to fight each other. Joshua and Wilder are going to fight each other. It all makes sense, and both of those guys want the smoke always. Anthony Joshua always wants to smoke, and Deontay Wilder 100% always wants to smoke. So we're going to see that fight. I'm sure it's going to be made. But on top of that, we got the Fury Usyk, and now we're getting Tank Teofimo. I said this even before we started doing the process of elimination to try to figure out if Tank was going to fight Teofimo. We probably said it here on Boxing Fanatico before it was said anywhere, because we just used common sense to figure there's nobody else for him to fight, and everybody's saying that he's fighting somebody big. It's going to be a big deal, whatever. So we figured before even this reporter, this inside boxing reporter, even told us that this fight is in talks, we already knew that this was probably going to be the route that Tank was going to go, because there was nobody else. If they're talking in that vein, like big fighter, this is going to be big, this is going to shock the world, this is going to do this and that. A rematch with Isaac Cruz ain't going to shock the world. So we know it's not that, right? We know it's not a rematch with Hector Garcia, because that ain't going to shock the world. We know it's not some no name for him to get a knockout, because it ain't going to shock the world. We know that shocking the world requires him to fight somebody of a high caliber. And because Shakur Stevenson was already taken, and Devin Haney was already taken, and all these other guys was already taken, it made more sense that Tank would go for Teofimo Lopez, because Teofimo Lopez was free, and Tank has already fought at 140. So this is not the craziest thing in the world for him to fight at 140 against Teofimo. Plus, Teofimo gonna make a lot of money. He's gonna make a lot of money, and then he could become a superstar. It's in his hands. If he beats, even if he loses to Tank, he still becomes a name, right? There's a certain people that you could lose to them, and it still increases your stock. Canelo is a person that increases your stock. Even if you lose to him, now you're a guy that Canelo fought, so you become this person that other people want to fight as a common opponent, to be a measuring stick for them versus, for example, Benavidez fought Caleb Plant after Canelo fought Caleb Plant, right? So that increases your star power, even if you lose to a big fighter that's popular. So I think that even if Teofimo was to fight Tank and lose, he will become so much more popular. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You said we're getting a Tank Teo. Is this a genuine thing? Yes, this is a genuine thing. This was reported by, hold on. I didn't just make that. We don't just talk rumors unless it comes from a reliable source. This was reported by TV Boxeo LA, which is a Spanish boxing channel, and their reporter, their inside boxing journalist is Chris Venegas. And he has connections with a lot of those guys. He has connections with the team. He has connections with people in Tank's team, definitely with people in Teofimo Lopez's team. And they informed him that the talks are happening to fight for the WBO junior welterweight title January 20th on Showtime pay-per-view. ESPN will also telecast the event according to the sources. So yes, this is a true inside source coming from a boxing reporter. So yes, this is actually the route that they're going. Now, does that mean that the fight automatically is going to happen? Can the fight fall apart? Sure, it could fall apart. But so Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford could have fell apart, and Canelo versus Jermell Charlo could have fell apart when we were getting information that there were talks. But this is great because this is showing the direction that they're going, and more than likely will be announced soon that, they're both going to fight. So yes, this is not just me just saying it. This is actually a thing. It's actually a thing, Mark. Hold on. Yeah, I do have to put that disclaimer on. No one will read it, but still, yeah, that's how, that's how content creation goes. Nobody reads nothing. So is it true that Tank and Teofimo going to fight? I just joined the stream. Yes, it is true. I think I just broke it down right now. But yeah, I mean, has it been officially announced? No, but the reports from the Boxing Insider reported that one of the boxing journalists reported that they are in talks, and the date is January 20th. Now, they haven't officially announced it because they're probably ironing things out as they do, but he got the inside scoop, and January 20th is the date that they're looking to headline this event. Of course, the moment it goes official, we will make a video here on Boxing Fanatico, so hit that subscribe button. And, hit that notification bell and hit all notifications so as soon as it goes official, we'll make the video here and you'll know that it's official. Fury, because he's much bigger, plus he has the skills to box with Usyk. I'm not sure Usyk has the power to hurt Fury. The thing Usyk does so well, like his close quarter combat, surely Fury can nullify. I don't know, man. It's not just about power. A lot of people hang their hat so much on power. If it was just on power and skill, then you would automatically think that Tank would beat Shakur Stevenson, because Tank has skills and he has power. But Shakur Stevenson has a lot of skills, and skills that could thwart Tank Davis's power. So it's not always about power. Skill is a little bit more important, in my opinion, than power. And I think Usyk, believe it or not, is more skilled than Fury. Fury is skilled, but I don't think he's more skilled than Usyk. I think Usyk has enough to pull off the win, because being short sometimes does help you. It does give you an advantage. It gives you good body work advantage. It does a lot of things. It does a lot of things. Even if you, for example, you say maybe Usyk's weakness is his body, Fury's tall, so it's going to be tough for him to get all the way down there consistently without putting himself in a little bit of danger. So I do think that the angles and the quickness of Usyk will be a little bit too difficult for Fury, and Usyk will be able to pull out the victory against Fury. Now, this is one of those predictions that I will be definitely on the betting odds against the betting odds, but it is what I see when I analyze both fighters. Tyson is no joke. That slick, relaxed style is something you don't see too often. Plus, he always delivers a show. You talk about Tyson Fury. Let's see. I still think it's Loma. You still think it's Loma what? Loma who? Loma what? PBC is going to bait and switch at the last minute with Davis versus Cruz. LOL. I guarantee you they're not going to do that, bro. I guarantee. Here's the reason why this makes a lot of sense. Number one, Tank said, I'll see you at the start of the year. That's January. That's literally the start of the year. Now, it could mean January, February, March, whatever, but he said the start, so it could fall into January. Number two, all the people in his camp, Calvin Ford, Leonard Ellerby, even his trainer, his other trainer, like he has multiple trainers. I forget the name of the other one. But they all said that he's doing it's a big fight next. And Calvin Ford was even quoted as saying in a podcast, the world, we will shock the world as soon as it gets signed. We will shock the world. We just waiting for it to get signed. Leonard Ellerby said, look, we gonna fight the guys. We about to fight those guys that you think that we're not gonna fight. Plus, strategically, for money, it makes sense for him to do that. He put his tent pole with the $1.2 million fight with Ryan Garcia. That tent pole, he's going to ride the wave of enacting the Floyd Mayweather strategy, which is what I said he should do. And this is what he's doing. The Floyd Mayweather strategy, contrary to what a lot of people believe, is to actually fight the best fighters in the world, because it's the threat of losing that elevates the pay-per-view potential, right? So now you got the knockout potential that Tank brings. That could give you a 270,000 pay-per-view buys. But on top of that, you layer the potential for him to lose, and that adds even more to those pay-per-view buys. And because he's now fighting with dance partners, quote unquote, which people that other people know, I think he could start doing close to or above the 1 million pay-per-view buy mark. This is a beautiful strategy to apply. I think that this is smart. This is what I said after his fight with Ryan Garcia, that this is what they should do, and this is what they are doing now. And so it makes a lot of sense that this will be the fight that he would be having in January. January 20th sounds like a realistic date to me. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But I mean, this is coming from, again, an inside boxing journalist, an inside report. We're not going to just talk about rumors that somebody on Facebook said on a boxing group chat or whatever, because he put breaking at the beginning of it, so now it's real. We don't do that here in Boxing Fanatico. We make sure that the sources that we have when we talk about these things, if it's not an opinion-based talk about what fight we want or whatever, if it's actually saying this fight could happen, we want to make sure that we're getting it from reliable sources that have inside sources with boxing. And yes, this gentleman has that inside source. And it's looking like January 20th, we will have Tank Davis versus Teofimo Lopez. I cannot wait, because that fight is going to be huge. And on top of that, he's going to fight for the WBO junior welterweight title. That means that he's going to start campaigning at 140. And he's going to start winning the actual belts, the world titles, not the regular, the world title. I think it's time that they move him over to that world stage, world ranking fights that he deserves. It's no longer let's sell him on knockouts. Now we're going to sell him on knockouts, but we're also going to sell him on pay-per-views. They built him on knockouts. Now they're going to really cash in with the big fights on pay-per-view. So I think they did a smart strategy, and it's going to pay off, especially after those Ryan numbers. It's going to pay off a lot. They were smart with Tank's career. I honestly thought it was just a Twitter rumor. Wow. If so, respect to both. FOTY. I don't know. Let's go. That's what that means. But yeah. It's a real. It's coming from a reliable source. So this fight means Tank is moving up to 140. Yeah, I believe Tank will be moving up to 140. I mean, I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, fight of the year. Oh yeah. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. Yeah, I don't blame him, because you already know that Shakur Stevenson at 135. Ain't nobody trying to beat it. Everybody trying to leave, because if Shakur is around, you got to move. You got to, hey, whoa, who, where is he? He's at 135. All right, 140. Here we come. Like, you got to move. You got to move. Plus, it makes more sense. Everyone moved up. Tio, Devin Haney, everybody's up there. Only Shakur and Lomachenko's at 135. So if everybody moved up, they come on. It just makes more sense money-wise to move up too. And then Shakur is going to show up. All right, I'm ready. I did my 3 belts at 135. I'm ready for 140. Everybody going to be like, now it's time for welterweight. Let's go. Been waiting to go to welterweight, man. I've been dying. Like, I was at 140, but I just can't do 140 no more. Welterweight is where it's at. 147, baby. Let's go. Crawford and Spence inspired me. We're going to get that kind of talk once Shakur makes it to 147, 140. Poor guy, man. Nobody wants to fight him. My trainer is a big fan a big fan of Tank. I wonder what he would say if Teo beats Tank. I mean, Teo, if we're looking at this logically, now I have to break down more. I haven't made a prediction yet, right, of this Tank versus Teo. This one is tough, but we have to look at this logically. Teo is more battle tested than Tank is. Teofimo Lopez is more battle tested than Tank. Has Tank had spectacular knockouts? Yeah, sure. Has he knocked out Ryan Garcia? Yeah, but Ryan Garcia wasn't a champion. Teofimo Lopez became undisputed. Teofimo Lopez cleanly beat Lomachenko. Teofimo Lopez, and this was Lomachenko that we not talking about the Lomachenko that lost in the beginning because he didn't know how the professionals work and dirty tactics and all that. He didn't know about that yet. This is the one that knows about that. This is the seasoned pro Lomachenko. Lost to Teofimo Lopez, and then Teofimo defeated the undefeated Josh Taylor that had a stellar resume, that was beating the likes of an undefeated Regis Prograis, that became undisputed at 140. And Teo made him look like he ain't never stepped foot in the ring before. He made him look like he was the most average fighter out there. So Teo is battle tested. That means he's calm under pressure. That means he could deal with people that have deep tool sets, like a Lomachenko, like a Josh Taylor. So this is not as clear cut and dry. Don't get caught up with popularity. This is why people get caught. This is probably why people just automatically kind of go for Fury to beat Usyk, because it's the popularity just kind of draws you into that. You think that he's going to win because he's more popular sometimes, but really it's not always the case. Sometimes the less popular person wins and then becomes the popular person, right? That happened with Bud versus Spence. Bud was the less popular person and he ended up beating him, but because they were very similar, he still was given the edge because of the skills. But don't get caught up in the hype of how popular somebody is. Sometimes that don't mean nothing. Sometimes that's not the thing that's going to determine if somebody's going to win. Has Tank been fighting people at the highest level? No, he hasn't, but he will start doing that now. If he beats Teofimo, then we could really look at Tank and say, wow, this guy has the skills and he has the skills that he could use against high-level fighters. Because you best believe that Teo is going to come in incredibly motivated to beat Tank Davis. Incredibly motivated. He wasn't motivated when he was fighting Sandor Martin. But he's going to come. He was motivated when he fought Josh. He's going to come in incredibly motivated for Tank Davis. I promise you that. So if Tank Davis could overcome that and, heck, get a knockout, overcome it and get a knockout, then Tank Davis is going to be a problem for anybody. He's going to be a problem for anybody. But if you were just looking at their resumes, Teofimo is more battle tested. He is. He's younger, but believe it or not, he's more battle tested, which is crazy. Younger, but more battle tested. Good point. The only Floyd fight I didn't bother was with Guerrero, so the threat is so key. Yeah, exactly. See, you didn't care. And what about when he fought Andre Berto? That's even worse than that one. Nobody, because at least Guerrero just came off of like a crazy fight with Andre Berto. But when he fought Andre Berto, ain't nobody watching. I think he did. But for Floyd, nobody watching is still like crazy. He did like 550,000 pay-per-view buys or something like that. But every single fight he had, the threat of losing was there because that was the selling point. That was the marketing strategy. The marketing strategy was, we got to fight the best fighters in the world. Don't let nobody out there trick you about Floyd's career. Oh, he ducked and his career was, we got to fight the best fighters in the world so that people think we're going to lose. And then we got to just overcome that and win and then keep doing that. The man fought Canelo. The man fought Miguel Cotto, Sugar Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya. Right, Ricky Hatton when Ricky Hatton was defeated. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the strategy. Manny Pacquiao. The strategy is to fight people that people think you will lose to. And if you fight those people, they'll tune in. They'll tune in. Mr. Nobody with the $5 super chat. What's going on, brother? We got to give you that $5 super chat. You know what I'm saying? The $5. Where's the $5? Here we go.
He's done it from time to time. Just can't be
I
good.
can't hear what I can hear. Here we go. With the knockout. Let's play that one more time because I didn't hear the whole thing.
Just can't be good.
$5 super chat. Thank you so much, Mr. Nobody. You called it. Let's go. You already know. Yo, am I becoming the Notre Dame of boxing? What's happening here? I'm not just predicting fights. It's becoming too easy to just predict it. We about to be on a 10-fight prediction streak since the Ngannou fight is next. It's getting too easy. Now I got to predict who people going to fight before anybody even knows, using all of this algorithm, using the Boxing Fanatico mental algorithm to kind of like narrow it down, using all of the different clues. We was being detectives back here. With who Tank was going to fight. And we came to the conclusion that he was going to fight Teofimo before it was even talked about that he was going to fight Teofimo by a reliable source. This is what we do here in Boxing Fanatico. We got the what's that called? What's that called? The thing with the magnifying lens. That's what it is. Is the magnifying? I feel like it has its own name. It's not just a magnifying. Maybe it's just magnifying lens. We using that, bro, to figure everything out. We got pay-per-view buys, predictions going on. We got who people gonna fight, and we got the fight prediction itself. We killing it, man. We killing it. We killing it over here. All right, hold on. What if it's Thurman next for Tank? It won't be. Thurman is at 147. It won't be Thurman. I promise you that, Zacharias, it won't be Thurman. It's Teofimo. The inside source, man. Inside source, boxing journalist, inside source reported that they are in talks to have a fight by January 20th. That's the fight we're going to get. That's the fight. Showtime boxing is dying, though, no? Yeah, I mean, it's not dying. It's just going to not be renewed. That doesn't mean that they're not going to try to get as much as they can out of Showtime boxing, right? Obviously, once Showtime boxing is no longer a thing, PBC will have to move to something else. But I think by January, that's not their full year cycle. That won't be their full fiscal year with Paramount Plus. It's just Paramount Plus. It appears that they don't want Showtime boxing anymore, which is sad. It's super sad because that will mean HBO is gone and Showtime. Those were like, you know what I'm saying, the staples of my childhood, and we won't have that. So it's sad, but what's happening with Showtime is that whenever that ends, it's not going to be before January 20th. So we're still going to get the fight on Showtime pay-per-view. And it might be one of the swan song pay-per-view fights for Showtime. I think Canelo in May would still happen on Showtime. The fiscal year it didn't come 365 degrees for the Showtime contract. It's just renewing the contract. That's the problem. They're not going to renew it. They're not going to cut it. They're just not going to renew the contract. But we don't know when that 365 ends. But it doesn't look like it's going to be in January. Fury... Yeah, Tyson Fury, I think it should be a great fight. They both have relentless heart. Yeah, 100%. Not sure who I would go with, but should be great. Yeah, 100%. First of all, it's for Undisputed. We're finally going to get an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world that we have not had since 2001. I thank Fury so much because I really thought he was going to not care about that. And he was interviewed and he's like, I don't care about the road to Undisputed. You guys care. I don't really care. I want to fight John Jones next. And then we got the announcement that they were making this fight. It's like, oh, man, thank you. It was probably just posturing so he can make as much money as possible. I don't care. They decided whatever money it is, he's gonna rob the bank on this fight. I do not care. Us as the fans, we are going to get to finally see Undisputed. So really is... Probably thank you, Usyk, for conceding to whatever he wanted because we're going to get a mega super fight for heavyweight Undisputed. Like, we had not seen that in over 20 years. We have not seen that in over 20 years. So for us to get it is just fantastic. I'm so hyped. I'm incredibly hyped for this. I can't wait to that fight. Agreed. Davis versus Lopez is one of the better fights that needs to happen. Davis needs to chase belts for legacy. Yeah, 100%. I mean, he could chase belts for legacy, and that also gives him the opportunity to make more money. Believe it or not. I know they say, oh, they don't need belts to make money because the Ryan Garcia, look, that didn't have a belt. Look how much money we made. That's fine. But if you chasing the right belt, like a Teofimo Lopez belt, like a Devin Haney belt, when Devin Haney beats Regis Prograis, if you chasing those belts, then you killing two birds with one stone. You could give him the legacy and you can make money on top of that. You could give him the legacy and make money on top of that. And keep in mind, he's the regular WBA champion right now at 135. So that means when Devin Haney fights Regis Prograis, he's probably going to get stripped of the WBA belt, and that's going to automatically elevate Tank to WBA Super, which makes him the mandatory for Shakur Stevenson. So if he doesn't want to fight Shakur Stevenson, he has to go and campaign at 140. Not just have a fight, he has to campaign at 140. And the way you do that is by winning a world title. So he's going to win a world title, and it's going to set him up for a Devin Haney fight, and it's going to pull him away from being elevated to super champion at WBA for the WBA at 135, which Shakur could have easily enacted a mandatory. He doesn't even have to deal with that bad publicity. Because let's say he doesn't want to fight Shakur. If Shakur enacts a mandatory and then he drops the belt and moves up and does stuff, he's doing it preemptively. He's doing it proactively before it even gets to that point. So he doesn't have to worry about anybody saying nothing. He's just already moving to 140 and setting that up. I think it's all around smart. Everything's smart. Everything's smart. Everything's smart. Who he's fighting, like of the people that he's fighting, this is the smartest one because Hispanics versus, American, they always do really, really good. And then it's Teofimo Lopez on top of that. And he just came off of a fight with Josh Taylor. And they were already talking about a Teofimo Lopez fight even before the Josh Taylor fight. Remember, we talked about that. All of the clues we used to put this together, man. We figured this out. We figured this out before they said it. We figured it out before they said it. I got Canelo making Benavidez and Crawford looking so much easier than everybody thinks. I don't know, bro. I think Benavidez is going to be tough for Canelo, and I think Crawford beats Canelo, even at the lower weight coming up, because skills is the most important thing. Keep in mind, Floyd beat Canelo, and on fight night, Canelo had over 15 pounds over Floyd. He had nearly or probably more than 15 pounds over Floyd. Floyd lost weight after the weigh-in. Canelo gained like 15 pounds after the weigh-in. So weight don't matter as much as skills. Skills matter more than weight. I'm telling you, trust me. I'm not BSing you here. That matters more. I don't like that people are using the Jermell fight as a scapegoat. Hey, look what he did to Jermell. He was 154. What do you think he's gonna do to a 147 guy? Jermell and the number one pound for pound fighter in the world are not two peas of the same pod or whatever that. Two peas in a pod, whatever that is, they not that. Because Crawford is much better, 100% much better than Jermell. He has a limitless tool set that he could pull out if things go wrong in there when he's fighting Canelo. I have Crawford beating Canelo. That prediction I actually already have, and I have Crawford beating Canelo if they fight. But we're going to have to wait and see. If Canelo wants money, he might not get the legacy and all that stuff with a Crawford fight because that won't be a big deal or whatever to him because he's going to get chastised if he wins anyways because Crawford's small. But if he wants the most money he can make, there ain't a bigger payday or a bigger fight than him versus Terrence Crawford. Full stop. There's not a bigger fight than that one. Crawford adapts to every style. I think he handles Alvarez soundly. I do believe that. This is definitely going to be a good fight. 100%. 100%. Hold on. Who you got winning? I'll probably take Tio because I'm odds. I missed your first response. I was multitasking. I didn't give a prediction yet. Let me move further down because I'm getting the chat. I'm too far away. So let me go further down. I talk too much. I know I talk too much. I'll be trying to pull it back a little bit so I can answer as much as I can. Haney Prograde. I got Haney in Spectacular Snooze Fest. I think he's going to use the jab. He's going to probably out jab Regis Prograde. Regis Prograde is good at, he's another kind of like Jermell Charlo where he's good at picking his shots and doing all these different things. He has that type of skill, but it's hard for him to cover distance. And if there's somebody that's really good at keeping him from getting on the inside, they're gonna exploit that. And Devin Haney is really good at doing that. I think he's gonna do that to him. The same way what he did to George Kambosos Jr. There you go, Burrow. Now to challenge yourself, you have to predict the fights before they even happen. Great fight, magnifying glass. I love how you just at the end of that you was like, let me also tell him the thing that he ain't know what he was talking about. Let me tell him magnifying glass. That's what I was thinking about. That's what I was talking about. I got a magnifying glass on all these things. We're not just predicting fights anymore. Fights is too easy. We on a non-fight prediction streak. Let me remind y'all. Hold on. For anybody, just in case, just go to this timestamp right here, just in case. So if y'all don't say that I'm capping, you can go back to all of the videos on the live stream before the fights happen, and you can watch my predictions for those fights. These are the 9 fights that I predicted that we are on a non-fight prediction streak. Here we go. Quickly. No particular order in terms of when they happen. Sonny Edward versus Campos. Crawford versus Spence. Alicia Bumgarner versus Leonard Dartu. Frank Martin versus Artem. Jerome Boots Ennis versus Vila. Inoue versus Fulton. Regis Prograde versus Zorilla. Usyk versus Dubois. And Canelo versus Charlo. Those are the 9 fights that we are currently on a non-fight prediction streak. And the next fight is going to be Fury versus Ngannou. I don't care what y'all say. That's my next fight so we can make it to double digits. And you know what? Even if y'all don't want to give me that, we also got right after that is Shakur versus De Los Santos, which I have Shakur winning. So I have Fury beating Ngannou and Shakur beating De Los Santos. We gonna hit double digits, baby. We gonna hit double digits here on Boxing Fanatico. Who else is hitting double digits in boxing predictions? Nobody. No boxing analysts. No content creators. Nobody's doing that, bro. Nobody's doing that. Not even the insiders. No one. We get the most accuracy here on Boxing Fanatical because we just analyze the fights. We look at how they fight and we come up with a prediction based on what they do and based on certain limitations that they have. Binoculars is the word you're looking for. I said binoculars. This is binoculars, my man. I'm talking about this joint right here. This the magnifying glass. That's what it is. The magnifying glass, or my man said a microscope. That's crazy. That's too much. Now we're not looking that deep. You know what I'm saying? We there's still a little bit of it's not that crazy. It's just a little something. It's just a little something. Hold on. Let's see. Tio, my man said no hablas español, amigo. Yes, I do. I do speak Spanish. Yes, I do speak Spanish. Yes, I do. Tio is too much of a challenge. I don't believe it's cap. Tio, man, come on. You got to understand. You don't look at Tank's past and think that, oh, well, he's only fought, trash fighters, so he's going to keep doing that. He only fought trash fighters until he fought Ryan Garcia, which I guess some could argue, sure, whatever, but he was popular. And now there's a pivot, right? The same way there was a pivot with Floyd. After Floyd fought Oscar De La Hoya, he wasn't fighting the Carlos Baldemirs anymore, right? He started fighting the guys, right? Ricky Hatton and Shane Mosley and Juan Manuel Marquez and Miguel Cotto and Canelo Alvarez. He started doing that after. There's a pivot point where you have to capitalize on that momentum. If not, you could lose it. You could become a one-hit wonder in boxing. You don't want to do that. So they're going to do the big fights. We said that that's the strategy that they needed to do because of the success of the Ryan Garcia fight, and that's where they're moving towards. Now. Trust me, this makes a whole lot of sense. It is going to happen. I don't see why it won't, unless it falls apart in negotiations, which could easily happen. That's the thing. But the fact that they're in talks, that tells you everything you need to know. We're more than likely going to get that fight in January. Let's see. I agree, brother. I got Bud beating Canelo. His style and strength is perfect against Canelo. Yes. Don't get caught up in the weight, man. People, the reason people get caught up in weight, and this is not a shot at you, by the way, AP, whatever. We love you over here. This is not a shot. But the reason people get caught up in the weight is because, like, it's too simple. It's easy. Oh, well, he weighs less, therefore he's going to lose. But that's not always the case. Floyd weighed less than everybody. He beat everybody. It's not always the case when somebody weighs less, they're going to lose. That's not always the case. And we're going to see. Y'all going to see when the fight happens. Y'all going to see how crazy Terrence Crawford going to make it. He might make it seem like unreal. You might be like, wait, there's no way. We're going to have to start hearing stuff like, oh, that's not the Canelo that, was supposed to be. That's not the Canelo that he looked like he's done. Like, it's too much wear and tear now. Even though he just destroyed Jermell, once he fights Crawford, it's going to be too much wear and tear. Forget that. He probably going to fight Benavidez first. And if he beats Benavidez, they're going to be like, oh, the Benavidez fight took it out of him. Like, trust me, it's going to be crazy. Benavidez probably does too, LOL, but Saul did look in excellent shape against Mel. Yeah, 100%. But like I said, that's what we said he was going to do here. We said he was going to push him to the ropes and he was going to take the body shots, hit him with the head shots, and make it really uncomfortable for Jermell Charlo. And Jermell is not good on the back foot because that's not his style, but he needs to do that against Canelo, and that's going to be his downfall. We said that here that he was going to be able to do that to Jermell. I want to see him do that to Benavidez because Benavidez, he don't got a back foot. This man only has 2 forward feet. He only has 2 forward feet. So he's not going to take a back step. I want to see that war of attrition between both of those guys and see who comes out on top from that one. I don't think it's going to be the easy fight that a lot of people think it's going to be. But I do I don't know, like I'm leaning towards Canelo. But until that fight gets made, some days I'm leaning towards Benavidez. I'm not going to give an official prediction just yet. Until that fight actually gets announced, I'm not going to make an official prediction. Canelo much more skilled than at 23. He ain't losing to Crawford. Yeah, but Crawford is he has so much skills. He has so much skill. Trust me, bro. It's not even funny. Michael Garcia is more skilled than Errol Spence. Yeah, no, here's the thing. It's not always skills. Your skills also have to be good enough to overcome whatever the one thing that somebody does that's like at the top 1%. For example, a lot of people that Manny Pacquiao beat were more skilled than him. Juan Manuel Marquez was more skilled than Manny Pacquiao. What's this guy's name, man? Not Marco Antonio Barrera, the other guy. Eric Morales. I think Eric Morales was more skilled than Manny Pacquiao. But Manny Pacquiao was so good at blitzing you and throwing nonstop punches and angling and just overwhelming you with that strategy where he hammered it home. He was so good with that, he overcame a lot of people's skills. Errol Spence is that type of guy. He's so good with how he fights that he overcomes your skill if you're not like one of the greatest fighters, right? Terrence Crawford is just so good that he was able to overwhelm and nullify Errol Spence Jr. So yeah, he has more skill, but it's not just more skill. You could also overcome the person's skill if they're not like. They have to be like the skill, like Floyd Mayweather-esque, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Terrence Crawford. They have to have that like upper echelon where they're going to be talked about in the history books kind of skill to overcome some people that are so good at doing the one thing over and over again, but doing it at such an efficient rate, and which is what Errol Spence was or is. Crawford is able to take that away from him, but Mikey Garcia, yes, more skills, but he's not able to take that away from him. But it's not necessarily a weight thing. Trust me. What? Yeah, I mean, we've had conversations like this over and over again. But I always come out on top, right? I'm always right. So we're gonna see, but we'll see what happens when they fight. I'm telling you that skills pays the bills. The weight is not gonna be that big of a deal. Y'all think it is, but it really ain't. It really ain't. Skills do not matter more than weight. Oh, when you move up too far, it can definitely cost you. No. Skills matter more than weight. The thing is that most people are not high elite skilled fighters. They're just really good or great skilled fighters, but they're not upper echelon skilled fighters. Floyd Mayweather is an upper echelon skilled fighter. Floyd Mayweather was fighting bigger guys than him his entire career. Floyd Mayweather never weighed more than 150 or 150 on the night of the fight, but he fought people with no rehydration clauses that were ballooning up 15 pounds on the night of the fight and still outclassing them and still beating them. So skills is more important. The thing is skills, like obviously there's a limit, right? If you go to heavyweight from 147, you ain't going, that's too much, right? They're too big. At that point, they're too tall, they're too big, everything's too big. So you're like, what you do is not going to be effective. But if you're just going 3 divisions, when the divisions are fractured in the modern era, they're fractured, right? Before it used to just be welterweight, middleweight, heavyweight, right? It wasn't all these fractures in between. They're fractured. He's gonna be able to, trust me, he's gonna be able to hang with him. And don't be surprised if Crawford puts on a performance against Canelo, because that is also very possible, because Crawford has that deep of a skill set. Bud career should and will finish at 154. No, he should never move to 168 at all. Not worth it. He'll move up. If the money makes sense, he'll move up. And he'll legacy-wise, money-wise and legacy is all converged into one. He's going to make a boatload of money, and he's going to be 3 division undisputed. It's going to be crazy. He's going to move up, and it's going to make sense. When y'all see the fight, after the fight, you're going to understand that it's going to make sense. I'm down to bet on that fight when the time comes for sure. Yeah, 100%. And you my guy, but I'm going to have to disagree. Canelo not only beats Bud, but he stops Bud. Wow. Bud does not have Floyd defensive elusiveness. He's going to get hit, and Canelo will walk through his shots. Okay, now Floyd is a different type of fighter. Both Crawford and Floyd are incredibly skilled, but they're completely different. So Floyd's whole thing is the evasiveness. Crawford's whole thing is leveraging his shots, creating leverage in awkward positions, and changing things and confusing you so that he can pick his shots perfectly and kind of laser shoot his punches and have enough power to knock you out when he puts those punches together from awkward angles. And on top of that, he'll make you miss. He'll catch and shoot. He'll do different things. It'll look ugly, but it's very calculated. So there's a difference. Floyd makes it look super pretty, while Crawford, it looks like it's a little bit out of hand, but he has full control of what's going on. It's a full mind game setup with Crawford, while with Floyd is a mind game setup, but he's also making it very obvious for the judges. I'm telling you, let the fight, watch when the fight goes down. Yeah, we're going to be back in here. It's going to be Boxing Fanatico Live, episode 200 and something. I don't even, episode 300 something, 400 something. And I'm going to be like, yo, didn't I tell y'all, man? Didn't I say, like, you know what I mean? Like, this was going to happen. We'll break it down even more as we get closer and if it gets announced. But I got Crawford beating Canelo. I 100% do have Crawford beating Canelo. Bud, my number 1 pound-for-pound fighter and my most recent pound-for-pound show. But just because he's my number 1, yeah, he's my number 1 as well. And I'm not saying that because he's number 1, he could go and beat Tyson Fury, right? I'm not saying that. But I do believe that he can go up and beat a Canelo Alvarez at 168. Canelo's kind of maxed himself out at 168 too, right? He's not like the average 168er, right? He's kind of maxed himself out a little bit at 168. So he's not the biggest 168 fighter. I do believe that Crawford has enough to go up and beat a Canelo Alvarez at that weight. I do believe that. No, I can't see him being effective against any of the top guys at 168. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Remember, guys, by the way, I'm on a non-fight prediction streak. Let's not forget, right? I'm on a non-fight prediction streak. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I'm not just blowing up smoke. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to take away what y'all saying. I'm just saying that what I'm saying is not just me wishfully thinking or doing any of that stuff. It's all based off of what I see between both Canelo and Crawford and what Crawford is able to do. All right, hold on 1 second. Let's see. I think okay. It looks like the time has run out, but let me just, I think the word elite is tossed around too much. There really is only just a few elite fighters today. Exactly. That's the thing. A lot of people think that, Mikey Garcia got skills. He's elite. No, he's not really elite. Elite is that's why I don't even say elite. I just say upper echelon. Upper echelon is the Sugar Ray Robinsons and the Floyds and the Terrence Crawfords. Those are the upper echelons. I think Terrence Crawford is there, and he's able to carry that skill into 168, especially with a Canelo. Because Canelo, again, he's not a big 168. He's like maxed out at 168. So he's not a big 168. You talking like Bud could fight better BF at 75 because he got skills. Not true at all. I'm not said that he could fight better BF. I said that he could fight Canelo at 168 because I've even mentioned that he can't go up and fight a Tyson Fury and beat Tyson Fury because he's too big. But a Canelo, yeah, he could beat a Canelo at 168 because Canelo is like kind of the perfect person to fight. Because at 168, Canelo's kind of maxed out. He's not the biggest 168 person. Jermell just went from 154 to 168, and he looked bigger than Canelo. He was bigger than Canelo when they fought, right? He was bigger, like visually bigger than Canelo. So Canelo's not the biggest, fighter. Crawford has a longer reach than Canelo. He's taller than Canelo. He can beat Canelo. What I'm trying to say is between Canelo and him, the weight is not that big of a deal because of the amount of skills he has to compete against Canelo. Now, weight is not as important as skill, in my opinion, but there is a threshold. If you go too far, right? Somebody like an Artur Beterbiev, he's not necessarily maxed out at 175. He's not maxed out at 175. That's his weight that he competes at, right? Canelo's maxed out at 168. So I think he has the ability to go up to fight a Canelo and win. Now, anybody else, that's a whole different story. But I do believe that he can fight a Canelo and win. And when I say skills is more important, in that scenario, just like how Floyd Mayweather would fight people that are bigger, his skill. Floyd couldn't fight Vladimir Klitschko back when he was campaigning at 154, but he could fight a Canelo Alvarez and a Miguel Cotto, even though he was really a small guy. He started at like 130, but he could fight a Miguel Cotto and a Canelo because he was that much skilled. He had that skill. So I think that that's the same thing with Terrence Crawford when it comes to Canelo. Obviously, if he goes to Beterbiev or if he goes all the way up to Tyson Fury, that's a different story. But I think his skills is enough to carry him for that weight difference that he's going to have with Canelo Alvarez, or that he has right now with Canelo Alvarez. So, yeah, that's what I mean when I say that skills is more important than weight, because in reality, skills is more important than weight. You can outskill somebody even if they're bigger than you. That's the truth in all facets of fighting. With Canelo, I definitely think that Crawford has the ability to beat him 100%. Nah, Canelo looked bigger. LOL. I don't know. I don't think so. I think he definitely looked more solid. He looked more solid, but he ain't look bigger. He didn't look bigger. To me, Jermell was taller, wider. Jermell to me looked bigger. Nothing is better about 168 when he lose. That's why people like yourself, I wouldn't take your advice. Me personally, I call it low-key hate. Wait, nothing is better. King of 47? Are you talking to me or are you talking to King of 47? Some people don't seem to understand that concept, though, and start saying Crawford versus Bivol, Crawford versus Benavidez. Yeah. See, I'm not talking about that. Why would I need you to take my advice? Okay, I don't know what y'all talking about now, but The show is 13 minutes past, but we had a bunch of you guys in here. Thank you so much, by the way. Please hit the like if you haven't. So, as I said before, people watch these videos on demand. So they will watch this video after, and I already see you guys are hitting the like. Thank you so much. Let me hit y'all with the Michael Buffer for that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, guys. We're going to go ahead and end the show here. We went a little bit over because there was a lot of you in the chat. It was a lot of you in the chat, so I wanted to give a little bit more energy and stay here with you guys. So we went past a little bit, but that's fine. But normally every Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays is when we go live. Every single Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, barring some sort of vacation or something where I'm not here. But if I'm here, it's Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and from 7 p.m. Eastern time to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So don't miss it. Come back to the show. We'll be here on Friday to talk more boxing. I love it. I love having debates. And I love, being right when the fight actually, hey, listen, 9 fights, you know what I mean? 9 fights is no joke. 9 fights in a row is no joke. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and end it. I love you guys coming in here. Love the base. Thank you for showing up. Buckle Up Boxing Talk. We had a good conversation there. I respect everybody's opinions, 100%. Everybody's opinions and predictions, I respect them. If you think that I'm coming off disrespectful, it's all jokes, it's all love, no disrespect at all. Just giving my opinion, taking your opinion, having some jokes about it. But it is what it is. So until next time, guys, we will see you on Friday. Peace out.